So welcome back to Direction again. Of course, you made Sarvam Thalamayam. Please forgive me my Tamil. And now this anthology of short films in which you have a segment as well, which seems very interesting. Leela Sampson and Andrea Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken. Again, Leela was in OK Kanmani. She was such a revelation. I think the first time that she was acting on screen. So talk a little about how this came about among the many projects that you've done, not done, how this finally came together.
Yeah, I think after Sarvam, you get your mojo back into direction and you want to tell stories again. I mean, in between I was shooting cinematography for Guru and Kadal and all that, but and also I started an institute, so many things. So one kept trying to write, but things just getting postponed. So you need to sort of jump off the cliff at some point and make a film. So I did that with Sarvam, and when I did that, a lot more people say, "Oh, this guy is still directing, and
he's still alive."
I mean, he's not a 2-film wonder. Probably he can do something more. So when this opportunity came up, and they were looking at people to really do something during the COVID, and everybody's locked inside, and it's hopeless, and people are saying, let's bring pots and pans and some divine intervention will come, and in that state you are in, and suddenly you've got a possibility that we don't know how long you're going to be stuck like this. So in that point, and television is only giving you bad news after bad news. So more people are dying, MPs are dying. I mean, the US president is getting infected. Secret Service cannot stop it. I mean, it's that state at which things are going. And then what happens to entertainment industry? What happens to a whole lot of musicians? What happens? This is what you're hearing every day. And top of it, one main star goes and commits suicide. So it's like every day you see, and then when you stop it, then there's 2 cyclones on one side. Then when you stop it, then there's already China attack. It's just every week it is one worse news. In that moment, somebody is ready to make a film. So you want to say, can you give a story of hope?
Yeah.
So it's like how people are coping with this COVID and how there is hope. And it's just not, laugh riot we're talking about. It's about bittersweet stories where people go through a sense of struggle, but actually come out stronger and believing in each other and in themselves in the process. Is what the challenge was. So you're basically reacting to the situation around you, and also writing and shooting through the pandemic. So that I found quite challenging.
Striking aspects of your first 2 films, or Sarvam Thalamayam, was the musicality that was inherent in the work. And I want to ask you, I mean, you also did a documentary about Mridangist Putham as well, if I remember. And because it's such a key part of your work, I want to ask you how, I mean, does the short film format sort of limit, how you can play around with the music of it all?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways it doesn't give you the kind of length and width that a feature film gives you, because, in Indian cinema, the unsaid aspects of the character is what the melodies bring out. So one of the reasons why melodies have died down in Indian cinema is because nothing is taboo. You can say whatever you feel like. But when somebody felt something for somebody, but you could not go and tell, when it was a time that you surreptitiously wrote a love letter and you didn't know whether you can say it or not say it, that's when the big melodies came out.
Right.
Hurt, pain, isolation, abandonment, not knowing where the other person is. Now there's no place you can go where you don't know. I mean, even if you're in the Galwan Heights, your wife can be texting you, I mean, there are people talking from Mount Everest on a Skyphone as they are getting frostbitten to death and they're speaking. And that's the kind of, so a love letter has become a very precious commodity. It doesn't exist, and people are saying yes or no to each other over Facebook or, a post or something. You realize you're out of a relationship. In that space, where is the space for the melody? So the films have become more talky and more edgy, and what is considered taboo is shown, and you're going much stronger into the narration, more brutal, more into it. So there are no nothing is off limits now. You can actually be more open. So in that format, when we are actually making something like a short film, you can be dealing with subjects which you can't otherwise deal in a feature film. So let's take, for example, I mean, feature film is hero-centric. It has to have a certain sense of romance. And, these are the kind of caveats with which you used to work, which I don't think is the case with a short film. So short film is it's like a short story. You're going precisely into one kind of situation and looking at it. So I was basically looking at a musician who works in a bar or in a hotel who is suddenly without work because COVID has come in, and then connecting with a friend who's a doctor and who's on the front line, a mother who is vulnerable, and how they all manage to get stuck in what happens, what past relationship, how it sort of unfolds, and what happens inside that.
I mean, it's fascinating you talk about this musician who loses work, because it seems like you've snuck in the music angle
which is one of the characters, which is barely there, because the film actually deals with something completely different. But
I see. Okay.
The vocation is just there. Of course they do. I mean, remember some old songs and things like that. We are inherently westernizing our tunes. We are inherently going towards the Western system. And in the Western system, music is extraneous, and people are not able to understand why are these people singing, why are they dancing, when there is so much. But they are not asking the question that when somebody is dying, why is the sitar, Shehnai playing, or why that's playing. I mean, you accept background score, but you don't accept songs, and it's just a function of time.
Is it allowing our movies to travel better?
I think it will, and also now with OTT, you're going to be seen in 200 countries,
Right.
So, I mean, most of the content which has come out of Bombay on the OTT has crossed boundary lines, and it's watched so carefully outside the Bollywood angle. It's gone beyond Bollywood, So, like we are sitting here and watching Narcos, and I mean, however we thought that we would be watching something completely in Spanish, acted by a German person of Portuguese origin. Now, all this has happened in the last 3 or 4 years. It was never possible. You had to go to a film festival to see something like this. But it's right there in your house. It's also there in somebody's house in a small town in Andhra Pradesh. So, we're going through a major change in film culture and film appreciation. And I don't think film knowledge is can I say elitist, and is just only available to those people who went to the Pune Film Institute or attended a film appreciation course. It's so broad-based now, everybody, everywhere. So that's why you're seeing brilliant films come out of Assam.
Absolutely with you.
So I think there's a great democratization that digital has brought, and this medium of OTT, which is sort of taking it forward. So I'm glad that we are doing this on OTT.
How excited are you about coming to OTT in long form storytelling? Are you looking at that as an option?
Yeah, absolutely. We are looking at it because I've been a great fan of the writing that's been coming out, and probably some of the best writing from the West has been on the OTT space.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you take Fleabag or whether you path-breaking writing that has happened.
You're actually Jane Austen and Phoebe Waller-Bridge in disguise. I think you are, Rajiv.
There's a lot of similarity with that, because especially the Emma-ness of her character is so unique, because it's the first time you see a character who is not pure, but who has cruel intentions, but is also vulnerable and also going through change. These are things that you study in characters which are very fascinating, and that's one of the things that when I saw in Breaking Bad, which struck me, is that how much of condensation is there, how much of thing, and I really liked Patal Lok when it came. So there's so much of possibility that 400 minutes gets you. So I think it's not a plot-driven exercise, but it's more of a character-driven exercise. Character has to be interesting. Its routing has to be interesting, and performances. And great thing is you've got rid of these You don't have to. You don't need to hang around Bandra and wait for these 4 days.
Yeah, exactly.